What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So as we continue through our marathon of horror trailer review reactions over the next few days, we have another new trailer for Together. So the headline here is Together, trailer Alison, Brie, and David Franco's Love and Flesh Get Corrupted. So as you can see here, this came out earlier this week, but there's been so many trailers that have come out this past week, trying to get caught up on them all, as well as other horror news that has been dropping. So again, you'll probably notice an influx over the next few days of horror trailer review reactions that I've been doing. Again, it's just me getting caught up on them. So you may recall this film. We've got a teaser for this a few months back, and I believe it was around the March timeframe. Early mid-March when SXSW 2025 was happening. I do believe this was premiered at that festival. Got a lot of praises, got a lot of high reviews. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that's great. I think that's good news. However, I hold zero weight when it comes to reviews from critics. I don't listen to critics. I don't read what critics have to say. It doesn't mean their opinions, it doesn't mean they don't have an opinion. I accept that they all have an opinion. That's fine, we all have them. However, when I say I don't listen to critics, I don't listen to them from the perspective of I don't allow their opinion or views of a film to sway me as to whether or not I'm going to see a movie or not. There have been plenty of times where critics have trashed a film to no end, and fans love it, or I go see it personally and I absolutely love it. Not sure what movie they were watching. It wasn't the same one that I was watching, but it could just be preference, taste, whatever. I don't know if they have a checklist that they're going off of that the studios give them to say, hey, if you give high marks on all these, then you like it. If you don't, then you didn't like it, right? I don't know what that's about, but all that to say is there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of talk around this one coming out of SXSW 2025. So around more of the body horror aspect. Now, I do believe this touched on a few subgenres, body horror being one of them. Supernatural, I think, was another one, if I remember correctly. But again, it's been a while since we've covered this film. But we have a new trailer for it, so like we always do, we're going to jump into the article details, then go take a look at the trailer, and then give our final thoughts on it. So let's jump into the details here. Once we can let us scroll down. Aptly set, the Turtles Happy Together, the trailer for Together teases a horrific codependent relationship portrayed by real-life spouses Alison, Brie, and Dave Franco. The song Happy Together, I'm gonna be interested to see how they use that song in this trailer. Usually they take a classic song or a song like that. I know they did it, for example, like with Hard Eyes. I remember when we got Hard Eyes, the first teaser, first trailer on that, we got the Frankie Valli song. I'm a huge Frankie Valli fan. I love music from that time period, but the Four Seasons and Frankie Valli, one of my favorites. So it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize this song or how they might tweak it to fit the trailer. Currently rated 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, the cosmic body horror film opens in theaters on July 30th from Neon. So we still have, a little over 2 months to go before this film drops. I will do my best to see this one in theaters. I didn't get to see The Substance because The Substance wasn't playing anywhere in my area, even with the limited theatrical run that it had. Wasn't anywhere in my area, but this one getting a wider release, I will try to see this one. Even if I don't, though, as soon as it hits digital for rental or purchase, I'll do one or the other. I'm more likely will purchase it just so we can do a full movie review, spoiler review on it around it'll probably hit digital rental, I'd say by mid-August. That seems to be 3 to 4 weeks. Seems to be the time frame from when a theater hits theaters, especially horror. For whatever reason this year, they drop, and then within less than a month or so, they're already hitting digital for rent or purchase. So I'd expect by late August, we'll have a spoiler review up by then. Years into their relationship, Tim and Millie find themselves at a crossroads as they move to the country, abandoning all that is familiar in their lives except each other, with tensions already flaring. A nightmarish encounter with a mysterious, unnatural foe threatens to corrupt their lives, their love, and their flesh. So that tells me, as I mentioned earlier, I know it's body horror, but this might dabble in on the supernatural aspects as well, especially if they're dealing with some mysterious foe. And I remember in the teaser, There was a bit where, or a scene where Millie was being levitated off the ground. We saw it from one perspective through like a glass door or a part of the glass door, and then the camera flipped to the other side where we saw her levitating. So could be some supernatural stuff going on in this film as well. Writer-director Michael Shanks makes his feature debut on the movie, which also features, we have more casting here. We don't need to read all the names. Megan Navarro wrote, okay, we're not reading that. I don't want to read reviews because I haven't seen the film. Many of us haven't seen it. I don't want to read a review. I don't want it to spoil the trailer nor the film itself. So I don't want it to give anything away outside of what we're going to watch. Together is rated R for violent/disturbing content, sexual content, graphic nudity, language, and brief substance content. We'll use that term. We have the trailer here, which we're going to watch, and then we have the poster, which I have seen this poster. I think this is a great poster, but again, I wish we would stop putting all this unnecessary text on posters, especially this. This is one of my personal pet peeves. The best horror film of the year. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see, New York Times says scariest thing ever. I don't need, or whoever's putting these quotes on here. I don't need to see it. Don't want to see it. Get rid of it. I think it just takes away from the poster itself, because you can clearly see here from a body horror perspective, it seems like they're starting to almost morph together. Even here, this bottom part, take away this little R-rated thing. I'm sure this has to be on there for some sort of purpose for movies. They have to display their rating for it, I'm sure. However, we do know there's plenty of companies out there who do movie posters. And I think if they were to do one like this, if they were having this poster, get rid of this rating, get rid of Neon, get rid of written and directed by Michael Shanks, even get rid of Alison, Brie, Dave Franco. Just put together. And get rid of this up here together with this poster, and then leave it at that. Nothing else needs to be said about this. I think that puts enough mystery behind it and enough intrigue to make you want to see it. So, all right, I think that's it. No more posters, nothing else on the article. So let's get back to the top. And all right, so now let's pull up the trailer and see what they're going to give us.
I love you.
Okay.
What's going on?
I don't know. Since the move, Tim and I haven't been on the same page.
Please, do you love each other?
Maybe we're just complacent.
Well, complacency can sometimes simply be so happy together. Harmony. This could be the beginning
When you roll over, then you're on my hair.
of something wonderful.
Tim.
We spend our lives in search of the other half. If you think you found that, don't be so quick to let it go.
I think something's happening to us.
Listen to me. Listen to me. We've got to get out of here. Now. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Billy, wake up!
You'll be okay. Whiskey for the pain.
All right, so I do love the way they use the classic song. How, you know, they kind of changed it up a bit to fit the aesthetics of this film. Now, I think I mentioned this when we saw the teaser originally a few months back. I think this kind of confirmed it a little bit more. I don't think this has anything to do with a supernatural, demonic type entity that's possessing them, controlling them. We see them in this cave. We see Franco in the cave itself, like he's looking up at the hole he may have fallen in through. We saw some video that they were watching where it seemed like a group of people had been brought into this cave with some like night vision. I think this has to do with aliens somehow. I think somehow aliens they found some cave where this alien being species is down there, and somehow they've been exposed to something, or it's somehow transmitted something to the two of them, and that's what's controlling them, making them go through these scenarios where like their bodies are morphing together. We saw when they were kissing, like their lips kind of stuck together. When she was sleeping, she says, "Oh, you're laying on my hair," and her hair was in his mouth, and it, obviously freaked her out. We did see that one scene I mentioned, but we saw a little bit more where she, because we didn't know he was looking at her from that side of the door, where he sees her through like that bubbled glass, where now we see some blood coming out of her mouth, where she's starting to like rise up, and then we get to the other side of the door and she's levitating and kind of going into convulsions. One of the other things I noticed where they played on the codependency aspect, where she's in the car and she makes, I think it was like a left hand turn, right hand turn. And they were showing, first off, he was in the shower, turns the water on, switches to the scene with her in the car leaving. And as soon as she turned, they quickly switched to the shower, and he's going in that same direction, but slams up against the shower wall. So I'm wondering if that starts to play into this as well, where whatever actions that she might be taking, whether she's going left or right, it's controlling him as well, and vice versa, depending upon if they go into this trance. But we saw some other people seeming, again, this is why I think it's going to be more alien driven, because when we saw that night vision shot of these other people in this cave, and we saw some other people in like real time or in present time that might have been exposed to the same thing. We saw two dogs just staring at each other as well. I'm wondering if they might have been exposed or something to it, where they're having like that same type of codependency thing going on, like the two of them are having. So, and it always seems to have happened once they've arrived at this house. I wouldn't be surprised, because we saw them, it seems like they were breaking up or they were separating. She's seeing a counselor. They move out to this location. They find this cave or this hole in the ground. He falls down, or they both fall down into it. They get exposed to something, and now they're going through whatever they're going through, right? I think that's how this is going to play out. Which then, as we see the body horror aspect, as they start to, like the lips sticking together, their eyelashes started to come together. We saw that scene play out from the poster. So very, very intrigued, very interested in seeing this one. July 30th comes to theaters, together with Alison, Brie, Dave Franco. I think, as I mentioned before, we are going to start to see, I mean, The Substance wasn't the first body horror film. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was. All I'm saying is I think The Substance rejuvenated the body horror subgenre, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more body horror films. Especially coming from studios themselves, not just low budget, independent type body horror films. I think we're going to see a lot more of them happening because of the success of The Substance, just like I think we're going to see a lot more unrated gore fest horror films on the back of Terrifier 3, because now, after so many years of the film being completed, they're now releasing The Toxic Avenger in theaters later this year, towards the end of August. Again, I think it's just going to be one of those things where studios saw a success here. They're going to wait and see, is this just a lightning in a bottle, or is this something fans really want? And then if they realize it's what fans really want, they're going to try and capitalize on it to make as much money as possible. So anyways, that's going to do it for this trailer review reaction for Together, body horror film. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the trailer, if you're interested in seeing this film. If you're not interested in seeing this film, still let us know down in the comment section maybe why this doesn't interest you. Still like to know that as well. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Later.